whether there was always that worry that the side could chop and change and he didn't really know that he was going to get the run in the side, where he seems to feel that.
Well, if you're going to be a good side, if you're going to be a top side, basically, people need to be a little bit fearful of their places. I think if you take all of the top teams, the 11 that maybe we all see as the typical 11 will only be that way because there's 4 or 5 good players knocking on the door, making it clear that if you don't perform, you are going to be struggling because I'm a really good player and I can take your place. So I would like to think that we'll get into that situation as well. But it's a good point you're making, and it's one of those things that perhaps you'd have to ask him the question. Probably I'm satisfied with him. I'm satisfied with what he's doing, and I'm actually very satisfied with what he's done since I came to the club, and long may that continue.
The games against the likes of Wigan represent the kind of games that you can't afford to slip up in if you are to make those top 4 spots.
Yeah, that could be a reasonable comment as well, but unfortunately, not being allowed to slip up, or if you want to get in the top 4 spots, doesn't mean to say you won't slip up. It all depends upon your performance on the day. So we are aware of the importance of every game we play. We are aware that we're still playing catch up a little bit because we dropped far too many points at the start of the season for our liking. So I don't fear for 1 minute that we will go out tomorrow night at Wigan with anything other than the right attitude and the right determination to win the game. But I'm pretty certain Wigan will have something to say about that because I guess they want to win as well.
So what kind of test do they represent?
Well, they represent a good test because they're a good team, and they've been a bit unlucky of late. Both they and Stoke, I think, will regard themselves as having been pretty unlucky in recent weeks, and we all know that your luck changes sooner or later. So I think that we will be foolish not to be very much on our guard and to ignore the positions they currently occupy in the table and concern ourselves with much more with the threat they pose as football teams.